Excellent. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Harcourts auction rooms. My name is Guy Alty with my colleague here, Gavin Vise. We are going to be your auctioneers here today for the auction of number 50 Lagoon and also for number 60 Nickel Street out on the fine settlement of Lake Hawea. On behalf of the team and the listing agents who have been entrusted with the marketing of the properties, and also on behalf of the owners, we'd like to thank you for your presence here today. I need to bring to your attention though that these auctions are being live streamed from the camera in the back of the room there, and also a little microphone above myself, and in doing so that's for the benefit of parties that cannot be here today. If you're planning to bid, I also have to have had get a purchaser acknowledgement form as far as prior to the start of the auction. If you haven't filled one of those out, please identify yourself and we can get one of the team to help you accordingly. Righty ho. I'm going to explain now how the auction is going to be conducted. These properties are going to be offered for sale subject to a reserve price, and that reserve price being met. The highest bidder, who is accepted by myself or Gavin, shall be the purchaser when the contract hits my hands. We as auctioneers can nominate the sum in which bidding can be raised, and we can also refuse a bid if it's not seen in the best interests of the vendor. A licensed real estate acting on behalf of the vendor can submit a bid on behalf of another person. In short, it comes in the form of phone bidding, and this will be happening today, and I can tell you that we do have people on the phone bidding on behalf of those buyers. As auctioneers, we can also place what's called a vendor bid. And if I am to place a vendor bid on behalf of the owner, I'll clearly identify when I'm to do that, and I can also tell you that the vendor bid will be nowhere near where the reserve price has been set. The seller has the option of withdrawing the property at any time before it's been sold, and they can do that without declaring the reserve price. And if a dispute is to arise with any bid, as the auctioneers, we will go to the last undisputed bid and get things rolling on again. And on the contracts hitting the hands, the purchaser immediately has to do the following. Firstly, acknowledge that they've been in receipt of the REA Sale and Purchase Agreement Guide. Secondly, pay the 10% deposit of the purchase price unless something has been priorly agreed. And then also fill out the GST information in Schedule 1 if applicable, but I can tell you today neither of these properties do have any GST associated with them. And then from there, we're all done and dusted. But as far as the process, I want to go to you. Has anyone got any questions from the floor in relation to that? Excellent, that's always the bit of silence I like to hear. Okay, so we'll get on with the road. First of all, the first auction today is for number 50 Lagoon Avenue in Albertown. Well, this is where we ask ourselves, is the lagoon front the new beach front? Well, we definitely know there's not a beach there, but I can assure you that the lagoon is in striking distance from a stone throw away. Cheryl and I have thoroughly enjoyed marketing this property, and I can tell you ourselves it's been very hard not to fall in love with it ourselves. 50 Lagoon, and I need to refer to the contract of this, is formally known as a fee simple comprising of a land area of 1,403 square metres, more or less, on Lot 2 of Deposited Plan 506685 on record of title 768767 of the Otago Land Registry. The chattels, which has been distributed to the interested parties, but just for clarification, stove, fixed floor coverings, blinds, curtains, light fittings, heated tail rails, the smoke detectors get thrown in, heat pump, and the old fixed floor coverings. The property will be of a vacant possession, but the settlement date is set out for Thursday the 5th of November 2020 unless you've got a prior arrangement. And be warned of the penalty interest rate of 14% for that late settlement. Well, that's the formalities over, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this property, as you know, sits on the terrace overlooking the lagoon, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and this property invites you from the moment you walk in. The north-facing property boasts character, and as far as the timber construction, and you've also got your own native from Poplar Grove. The owner, well, he's done an absolute fantastic job of the renovation. The hard work's been done, and it's really up to you to go and have some fun with it. And I can tell you that during the marketing of this, we had the existing owner that came in, we've had people in the area that have come through and have just really wanted to check out what it is, and they've all admired the workmanship that has gone into this property. So moving forward, the instructions away are to sell away today, and that's where you as buyers become a very important part of this process. So I want you to know who here would like to own 50 Lagoon Avenue, because from here on, I go to the floor And who is going to come up with an opening bid for me? An opening bid on 50 Lagoon, ladies and gentlemen. I look to the floor. Who's going to get me started? That crowd goes silent from there. Well, we have got a phone bidder on here, so we do need to take a little bit of caution here as far as it does take a little bit longer.
Yeah, would you like me to call out an opening bid? I think so. Yep. 800.
$800,000. $800,000, the opening bid from the floor. Someone on the phone. $800,000 sitting here for 50 Lagoon. This is where someone comes in and shows a little bit more strength over and above that. I'm calling for bids of 25,000 over and above that. Sitting on 800, looking for bids of 25. Looking for bids of 25 over the 800. Can I interest anyone as far as coming through? Sitting there, nothing sits there at 825. Calling it once. I'm going to call it twice. Calling it 3 times. Sitting on 800, but on behalf of the vendor, I'll get things rolling along, and I'm going to put $25,000 on top of that, and I'm going to take it up to 825 with a vendor bid sitting with myself. 825,000 with a vendor bid, and I'm going to keep things rolling along at that $25,000 mark. So I'm now asking for 850. Looking for 850, vendor bid with myself at vendor bid, looking for 850. Can I ask for 850, taking up to 850? I can tell you at this price it's probably far from where the market has seen the value, but we've just got to guide people in the right direction to create a sale today. Can I call for $850,000?
Do you want to go 840?
Vendor bid at 825. 50 Lagoon Ave, timber construction, looking out. You know this is a private little property. We're just taking a little bit of time here, ladies and gentlemen. At 825, the bid with me, looking at that 850.
840?
840. 840, a little low. Can I take it to 850? It'll make a big difference in the process. 850. Can I get 850 out of another $10,000? I can tell you she won't own it at that price, but I can tell you we're going in the right direction.
No, he probably makes it. So he's saying you're not going to own it at 850. So
825. Asking for 850.
Do you want to put another 10 in there for 850? See how it responds.
Calling it once, twice, 3 times. Can I ask for the 850?
You're asking for the 850. Yep.
Good, excellent, fantastic.
Oh, no, sorry. No, she's sitting at 840 though.
840.
Yeah.
Well, in the best interest of the vendor, we'll keep things rolling around, and I will take that $840,000. So $840,000. The bid is on the floor again, ladies and gentlemen. The bid is on the floor at 840, and I'm going to keep going in 25s because we need to progress things along. So 840. I'm looking for 865 now. 865. Looking for any other interest from the floor. This is where you get to be my best friend. This is where you place a bid at that 865 and we start the ball rolling. We're sitting on 840 on the floor now. Currently the top bidder. The top bidder looking for 865. Looking for 865. Do we have a 865? Calling it once. Calling it twice. Calling it 3 times. Well, this is where I come into play, ladies and gentlemen, again, and I'm going to put a vendor bid. I'll keep the ball rolling on that, and we'll go to $865,000 with a vendor bid sitting with myself. 865 with a vendor bid, 865. 865 with a vendor bid, rolling through, moving through on top of that. I'll call out one more time to get to that $25,000, and that $25,000 on top of that will clearly take us to that 890 mark. So sitting on a vendor bid with myself, looking for 25,000, looking for $890,000. 890,000. We know we have people in the room. We know we have conditional interest. Everyone's just playing the game, playing along here nicely, which is good. But we need to get there. 865. Looking for 890. Looking for 890. Looking for 890 there. The vendor bid is with myself, sitting on the vendor bid. Looking for a bid on top of my bid. I'm asking for 890, but I am open to taking offers from the floor as well. 865 with myself, looking for offers on top of my vendor bid. Cheryl, do we have anything from the, can we get a bid on top? $865,000 vendor bid with myself. Can I call for any bid, a bid on top of that? Sorry for the pause here, ladies and gentlemen, we just need to get through it. So 865 vendor bid is with myself. I'm calling for bids from the floor. My asking bid is for another 25,000, but I'm open.
866.
866. 866. That's one little one on top of me. I know that is a wee bit more. How about 875? Take it to 875. $10,000 on top. I'll take 875 at this stage of the game. 875. If she wants to go there, she can hold the bid at 875. 865. I've got someone coming through, but this isn't a one-horse race, ladies and gentlemen. As much as I'm bidding, I'm calling for other interest from the floor as well. 865. 865. Waiting for a response from the phone. No. 866. Sitting on 866. Well, in that case, I'm going to keep things rolling along. That is not quite enough to get there. I'm going to put a vendor bid in at $25,000 on that. I'm going to take it to 890. So the 890. Now we're sitting with a vendor bid at 890 with myself. The bid is still with me at 890. 890 vendor bid. I will well and truly take a bid on top of that one though at 890 as far as a vendor bid, and I'm looking for further interest on top of that. If she wants to put $1,000 on top of that now, I'm well and truly will take that, and I'll go and talk to the sellers as far as where things sit. So vendor bid with myself, $890,000, ladies and gentlemen, calling for interest from the floor. This is your opportunity to go and talk to the vendor direct, via myself as far as there. $890,000. $890,000 looking for a bid from the floor. Can I call from now? I'm going to call it once. No. Twice. 3 times. Calling for interest above $890,000, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't want to hold there on top of that. Can I call from anyone else on the floor as far as putting a bid on top of myself before I go forth on it, as far as potentially passing this property in at this nature? $890,000, looking for a bid on top of that to be in a situation to move forward. Calling it once, calling it twice, calling it 3 times. Well, in that case, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to hold it there. Can you please just hold there for a second? I'm going to pause the auction for a second, and I'm going to come back. Can you just please hold there for a second? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I left the table and the floor, and I just want to let you know that the last bid was with me as a vendor bid. I can tell you that we have no other people, and from there we have no other bid on top of that bid, and so I'm now going to do what's called passing the property in. By passing the property in, we're open to conditional buyers. We're open to anyone that's had interest in there. We're also open to people to putting their offers forward for the owner's consideration. So at that, I'll formally pass the property in at 50 Lagoon, and we'll move forward from there. Thank you for attendance, and I'll now pass across to Gavin Vise to continue today's festivities. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Oh, thanks, Guy. Sorry, thanks, guys. Thanks, Guy. And welcome to you all. It is a pleasure to be here. I will tell you today we don't have any bidders, or we don't have any, I should say, unconditional bidders for 60 Nickel Street, so there will be no auction. We do have conditional buyers. Some of them are present today via the camera in other places other than Wanaka. So at this time, the owners are interested in receiving your conditional and unconditional interest. If you've been and seen the property, you know it's very private. It's a private location. I call it a private oasis. And like I said, we're looking for interest, and it'd be great if you talk to myself or one of the other Harcourts agents ASAP. So thank you very much for your attendance today, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon in the Harcourts auction rooms. Thank you. I know you didn't get to see a call, but I couldn't do it for you. At 650,000. 650, we'll take 675. 675, I'll take another 25. 700.